Hi guys, I'm going to be looking at last year's releases which are relevant to studio and multi-camera production. The original Blackmagic broadcast camera was a decent bit of kit designed to be used with broadcast B4 ENG lenses. Its Achilles heel, however, was low light performance. It was great in studio lighting, but you probably needed to shoot wide open or wind up the gain between dusk and dawn. The new Broadcast G2 uses the newer and bigger sensor from Blackmagic's Pocket 6K. This gives it much better low light performance when using the B4 lenses in 4K and 6K resolution when using the EF mount. It comes with a top handle and a shoulder pad that's optional extras with other URSAs, which makes it a bit of a bargain. You can remote control the URSA broadcast using the return SDI feed, or with Blackmagic's fiber converters you can connect, control it and power it down a SMPTE fiber cable, so it makes it a full system camera. Check out the full studio kit on our website. So the URSA Broadcast G2 is a studio camera, a news gathering camera, or even a shallow depth of field cinema camera. I think it's the most flexible camera that Blackmagic have ever made. On to PTZs now, and let's start with my favourite of 2021, the Canon CRN 500. If you don't need 4K 50p or 12GB SDI, then this is simply the best PTZ camera under £5,000. NDI HX2 means you can get compressed 4K over a network, and Power over Ethernet means you can power it and control it down one cable too. It's the fantastic low light performance, superb autofocus, and beautiful picture quality which always has impressed me most about this camera. The N500 has a little brother which costs about half as much. The CRN 300 has a smaller sensor and lacks the XLR inputs of the bigger PTZ, but it has decent low light performance and produces lovely looking pictures. It's got a bunch of user-friendly presets to get the best out of it without users needing to learn complex menus. At that price point, you won't get better pictures, and the NDI HX comes as standard too. Now for something a little out of the ordinary that might have flown under your radar. The BS1H is a full-frame box camera with a small footprint and fantastic image quality from Panasonic Lumix. In both low light and dynamic range, I think the BS1H is pretty special. There's really nothing quite like it. You can output 6K RAW over HDMI to an ATEM or Blackmagic recorder, and it can stream 4K video and be remote controlled and powered over a standard computer network. Being full frame, it can produce really cinematic images while taking up hardly any space. And with its USB-C output, it could even be described as the world's best webcam. I love this quirky little guy. On a gimbal, in a vehicle, filming a drummer on stage, or even on a drone. It's the size of a Rubik's Cube after Christmas excess, and there are more uses for it than there are combinations on that famous puzzle. Back to the studio now. And I'd really like to remind you of the two new Blackmagic studio cameras. They both use the Micro Four Thirds sensor from the Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, and this sensor fixes the poor low light performance of the previous generation, as well as improving the image quality across the board. The new studio cameras come into their own when they're coupled with Blackmagic's ATEM switches, which can remote control them and even zoom in or out if you use them with the right lenses. The 4K Pro has 12GB SDI to tether it to an SDI-based ATEM switcher like the TV Studio Pro 4K. It can also be connected through low-cost 10GB Ethernet through the new Blackmagic Studio converter. The 4K Studio Plus version is designed to be connected and controlled by the low-cost HDMI-based ATEM mini switches. Okay, HDMI cable lengths are limited to less than 10 meters, but if you have a smaller budget and a smaller studio space, you can get really great results. Talking about ATEM minis, last year we saw the release of the ATEM Mini Extreme and the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO, and they're packed with a ridiculous number of features, coupled with 8 HDMI inputs and 2 USB-C outputs, in a box not much bigger than a fat keyboard. Advanced keyers let you do multiple picture-in-picture effects, and they also have decent chroma key and great audio mixing. Even the multi-view is astonishingly versatile. The ISO version is capable of recording all 8 inputs simultaneously, and the output too. That's 9 HD video recorders for the price of an iPhone. Any way you look at it, the ATEM Mini Extremes are extremely good value. To find out more about any of this kit, head over to our website for pricing and detailed specifications. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.